Hello, and a pleasant good day to you, and welcome. I'm Bob Streeter of Team Streeter Seminars and Services, LLC, in Tallahassee, Florida. I want to welcome you to the conference, the virtual conference of Family Cafe. Just want to say I am excited to be able to share with Dad some what I call championship tips. Now, I'm a dad of a child of special needs, and I know that you're probably the same. So I'm going to give you some good news to start. You already won the Super Bowl trophy. Yes, yes. Let's get the Gatorade. Let's get the Gatorade because you are already a champion. And just want to say, I want to thank all of the organizers of the Family Cafe, persevering with courage, and the staff there doing a great job to help so many families throughout the state of Florida. Personally, this has been over 10 decades, no, a decade, over 10 years of participation with the Family Cafe. So I'm so honored to have an opportunity to talk to dads and kind of share some pages out of my life, as well as hope to give you some words of encouragement, because I know that sometimes we go through a lot as dads. We go through choices, challenges, and change. Some of the choices that we have to take to provide for our families, protect our families, love our wives or significant others who you may be with, and on the top of that, to be able to lead and guide our child that may have a special needs. And I can tell you, I have over 30 years of marriage experience straight. 32 years straight. Yeah, this year, 32 years straight. As well as over 20 years of raising a child of one of our three children with special needs. So I am a man of faith and a man of integrity. So when I say this, I give God the glory just to be able to have the honor to be a loving father, the honor to be a loving husband, and at the same time to be able to lead and guide our children. So today, without further ado, I know that you're at home, and the beauty of this presentation is that you can stop it and pause, go back to what you want to do, and then you can come back to another point. If I say something that's very exciting, say, oh, I need to run that back. Oh, and then you can start it again. So that's one of the advantages of having a virtual presentation. I'm looking forward at the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, comments, observations, I have the information where you can contact me. And I think it's so important to have those connections with one another. And I tell you, I miss you guys. I wish that, with the virus and things that are happening today, we are on a new frontier. We haven't been there before, and we're making history. By you just watching this virtual and participating in this virtual conference of the Family Cafe, you are making history in 2020 because you are taking your time, you're taking your talent, you're taking your patience, and you had that hunger to learn new things. The only thing is that we are not there to be able to shake your hand, give you a hug, to encourage you personally, but to let you know that there is greatness inside of you. So if your significant other wants to sneak in the room while you're watching, you can tell them, well, this session is basically for dads. This is coaching tips with Coach Bob, but you can watch if you like as well. But I just want to say that we all are family. Going through choices, challenges, and change. The main thing we have to know that we have to stay focused, follow on course, and tell successful. And most of us as dad, sometimes in the struggle, sometimes in the day-to-day, to be able to make things happen for your family. And on top of that, we are gifted and honored to raise a child with special needs. I reflect back at one Family Cafe session. I was speaking on the floor, and after the presentation, just a couple of minutes before I was going to break and end of the presentation, and to thank everyone for coming out and listening to the presentation, a gentleman came up And this was a presentation where men were basically a talk like we have today, but it was a group of men together. And he said, Mr. Streeter, I don't want to disrupt your session. I appreciate the information. I appreciate the presentation and the camaraderie among all of the men, but I just have to share this story. I am a dad of a child with special needs, and I had to deal with pain, and I literally had to deal with shame in a way with myself, trying to come to grips with myself. How can I raise this child? And tears start to slowly start to fall down his eyes because he reflect that he spent many weeks isolated. He didn't talk to his spouse. He couldn't talk to his child the way he wanted to talk to his child because there were so many needs and situations. And as a man, he felt isolated and he felt empty. But he recognized when he looked his child in his eyes, at that moment, he caught himself and said, I am in a special place and a special time. I don't know what's going to be the end in this period of raising my child and being a parent, but I'm going to hold my head up now and say thank you. Thank you for the challenge to be able to be a dad of a child that has a special needs. And as he wiped the tears from his eyes, I just spoke to him words of encouragement, spoke to him words that don't give up. Things that you may not understand, but sooner or later you understand. As the old folks say, you understand by and by. So this section today is basically a locker room session. You know, I used to run track, and I am also a burn trauma survivor. And at the age of 8, I burned my legs, and the doctors told me that I would not be able to walk again. But through grace and prayer and perseverance and loving tenacity, I made a goal in my mind that not only that I was going to take that one step, and in that one step, there was pain. In that one step, there were nights that I could not sleep at the age of 8. The pain was so horrendous. But I had the desire, I had the goal, I had the aspiration to be able to take that one step again. And through physical therapy, I never forget it, I had a nurse, a very kind nurse. I have a lot of love for nurses. If you're in the health field and you're a nurse, or you're a surgical or a doctor or a physician or so that work particularly with burn trauma survivors, I just want to salute you and say thank you because I am a burn trauma survivor. And at the age of 8, I learned to follow on course until successful. What do you mean by that, Bob? Throughout those many nights, and the doctors had already told me that we don't know you'll be able to walk again, and if you walk again, you'll probably walk with a significant limp. But I looked that doctor in the eyes that had more degrees than a thermometer, and I said, I'm going to walk again. And that doctor said, well, we got this nurse here, and she's going to work with you hand in hand. It's not going to be an easy task. And you see, sometimes when you set a goal in your life, it's not going to just come. You're going to have what I call loving tenacity, that pursuit of happiness. What do you know? What do you say about that pursuit for happiness? That pursuit is that you have the peace, that you are constantly, each and every day, taking a step, one step at a time. Even a person that runs a marathon, 26.1 miles, they have to take one step at a time. And even when they approach those hills, even when they approach that 13.1 mark, and they start to get tired in their body, and they start to have challenges, the sweat is rolling down their body, but they're running towards that goal, each and every goal. And that's what I'm saying to you. As a marathon runner, you got to be able to say, I'm going to take that step. It's going to be a marathon. We don't know what it's going to be the end when we are raising a child that has a special needs. But as I said, with faith, integrity, and perseverance, and loving caring, you're going to make it, and you're going to do it well. But to make a long story short, there's people that you have to have in your life to form a team. And team means together everyone accomplished much. I had teams of my family that prayed for me. I had a team of my nurses that guided me through the physical therapy. I had my surgical team that did the skin grafts over 7 surgeries at the age of 8 over a 2.5 year period. And in that, to this day, in 2020, at this taping, I still have the scars on my legs. And when I see the scars on my legs, it is an indication that I have the courage and perseverance to endure to the end. There are going to be scars in your life, just like I had scars from my 3rd-degree burns. They're there, they're not going anywhere, but it's a testimony of your tenacity and courage. And not only that I was able to walk again, but to run. And I never forget it. When I made my first step, my mother walked into the physical therapy room and I had braces on my legs like Forrest Gump. You seen that movie? Run, Forrest, run. Had braces on my legs and I took that first step. And as I took that second step, I fell on the floor and it was dead silence in the room. And everyone looked at one another and they was wondering what was going to happen next. And the nurse looked down at me and I looked up to her from the floor and she said, "You going to be all right, Bobby? You going to be all right?" And I looked that nurse in the eyes with a loving smile and says, "I'm going to walk again." So sometimes when you feel like you have your back on the floor, that's the best place that you can be because you're looking up. And when you start to look up, you'll be able to get that strength, you'll be able to get that inner endurance, and you'll be able to stand. And when you stand, you already know what it is to feel when you are down. And when you stand, you can be unmovable. When you stand for your family, when you stand for your children, when you stand for yourself as a man and as a person and as a human being, there's something incredible starts to happen in your life. I share that story to let you know that not only I was able to walk again, but to be able to run, and I was so blessed to be able, by the time I graduated from high school, to be able to earn a track scholarship as a long distance runner. The first one in my family to able to attend college. I grew up very modestly in Richmond, Virginia. Matter of fact, we didn't have indoor plumbing. And when my friends used to come over to my house, they said my nickname was Boo Boo. I said, "Boo Boo, can we go and use the bathroom?" I said, "Sure." Go outside about 500 yards. There's an outhouse there, and make sure that you shut the door. That was embarrassing, but it built character in my life. So today, if you have those, what I call blessed memories of struggles, and maybe you're going through a struggle right now. Maybe you're thinking in your mind, well, I'm watching this video today and hopefully I can get some tips and coaching to be able to make it through to the other end. But I just want to say you already got the trophy. You already got the Super Bowl trophy. And sometimes when you get to the finish line, it's not the trophy. It's knowing that you have endured to the end. So just want to say this. Before we start, always believe in coaching. I had a track coach, and my track coach would always say, before you start, you got to believe that you're going to finish at the end. You don't know what place you may finish in, but to know that you're in the race and to do your best. And I always say it always starts, I say 7 inches. That is the distance between your head and your heart. Your head and your heart. Oftentimes, the battle is won in our head, and the heart is the one that allows us to pursue. So once we get things in our head, we feed our mind with positive affirmation. And then the heartbeat is your perseverance. The heartbeat is your tenacity. The heartbeat is that, just like my shirt says, winning starts here. When you wake up in the morning, you got to say to yourself, winning starts here. Where's here? Whatever moment that you're in, whatever situation or challenges that you are faced, That is your here. But to be able to say that winning, you already a winner. Confirm this right now. Your attitude. Attitude is very important. I mean, 90% of the time, somebody's going to say something negative to you. I don't care who it is. One way or another. You know people that are negative? You can raise your hand. I may not see you, but I'm going to raise your hand. You know some people that are negative? If you're raising your hand right now, you can put it down. If it's a person that's right next to you, watching me, talking to you, don't start fighting, okay? Just raise your hand. I know. The question is, do you know anybody that's negative? Yes, we all run across people that is negative. But to counteract that negativity, you have to infuse in yourself. Just like if you're driving your car, I always say the people that stop at service stations, they're going somewhere. They just happen to need to get a refueling. They have to be able to get the proper fuel in their vehicle to go to whatever distance that they are going to get to point A to point Z. So whenever you see people at a in the old days they said filling station, but we call it service station because you can get bread, food. It's just like a mini mart when you go to get some gas for your car. They're smart. They're able to diversify their service. They know that you're here to be able to get gas for your car, but at the same time, if you want something to drink, we got it. If you want some chips, we got it. if you want the newspaper, we got it. It's all encompassing in service. So if you want to be great, serve. So getting back to my point, those people that go to the service station, they're going somewhere. They're either going to put some fuel in their car, they may be on empty. We don't know when we're driving on the highway, the car next to us, we don't know if they have a full tank, they're on a quarter of a tank, or sometimes like me, I have it on E and I'm praying that I make it to a service station. And I know sometimes nobody's laughing but me, but I've been there and done it. Sometimes you be on E and I say, I think I can go 2 more miles. The indicators say I got about 5 more miles and I'm riding on E. And I'm saying on my mind, if I can only make it to the service station to get refueled up. And that's why we are in this session today. We are at the service station. We're gassing up. We're fueling up with positive things. We're fueling up with encouragement. We're fueling up with hope. So when we get in our vehicle, and in this case, as a dad, our vehicles is our families. Our vehicles is our situation that we may be in. So as we are going on this journey together, as we get off the interstate, fueling up, and get back on the interstate, we on the highway. And we on the highway to great heights. We on the highway to great achievements. We on the highway to accomplish things that other people that walk one day in your shoe, they'll be able to relate to everything that you are going through. So we are at the service station, proverbial, imagine yourself at a service station now. We have put our holes into our cars and we have checked how much we want to put in. Well, we want to fill it up today. We want to just fill it up. We're going to spurge. We're going to fill it up. If you're a little short today, I'll cover you, all right? But you're going to fill up your tank. And we're going to go to a whole new level of encouragement. That's what coaches do. Coaches take situations and say, okay, coach, we in the 2-minute warning. And they call halftime or they call timeout. What do we do? And what did the coach do? The coach pulls out his little pad, he pulls out a little chart, and he starts to sketch a strategic plan to handle what you're going to do in this 2-minute order. So sometimes we may be in this 2-minute warning right now. You're watching this video right now. Say, okay, Bob, I'm in a situation. I need encouragement. I need some tips. Thank you. We're all together. We got 2 minutes, so we got to do this thing. We got to score. We got to make that touchdown. We got to make that foul shot. We got to do what we have to do to achieve that goal that we look for to win. So, one of the tips that I shared with you is attitude. Attitude, some people say attitude controls your altitude, how far you're going to go in life. Some people wake up and say, today is going to be a great day. And somebody say, oh, great day today is. I know something's going to happen. You seen that Charlie Brown cartoon, and the guy has a cloud over his head all of the time? Well, you don't want to have that cloud over your head all of the time. I know it's challenging. I know it's challenging. Raising our child that has ADHD and ODD. And some of you that are familiar with that gift, and it is a gift. There are a lot of people that you don't realize in life. I don't have time, but you can Google it. And Google famous people with disabilities, famous people with challenges, and you'd be surprised. You know, Mother Teresa had a quote, and I'm a big fan of Mother Teresa. And she said, the biggest tragedy of humanity is that we fail to realize that we need one another. I need you. And in some cases, you need me. And when people throw bricks at you, negativity, bricks at you, what you do, you don't retaliate and get mad. You don't say, you don't understand the frustration that I go through. I have a child with a special needs. Maybe your child is, quote, normal, but I want to let you know that I am so significant and I am so graced to raise up a child the same way that you are raising up your child. But I need a little more compassion, a little more understanding. Even as a man, in my core, I want to do the right thing for my child. And sometimes people don't understand. They really don't understand what you're going through. But I want to tell you this. When people throw those bricks of negativity towards you, or negativity hits that mind, remember I tell you that 12 inches, 7 inches between the mind and the heart? And sometimes the battle is in our minds. The battle is in our minds. We have to take what I call those brick thoughts of negativity and take those bricks that are sent out to you, those brick thoughts of negativity, and you take those bricks and you start building a foundation of hope, making a building, a foundation of hope. You ever seen someone that's a masonry, that does brickwork? I love brickwork. Ever since I was a little child and I heard that story about the three little pigs, one built their home out of straw. The other one built it with light material, and the big bad wolf, which is negativity, if you don't have your foundation right, it blows. And it blowed on one of the buildings of the pig, and the other pig ran into the house of straw. And then the big bad wolf of negativity, he started to blow on that straw building. And what happened? Then that building fell down because it didn't have a strong foundation. And then all the pigs ran into the brick building. And as you know the story, just like negativity, he huffed and puffed, he huffed and puffed, he huffed and puffed. And guess what? That big bad wolf that already had so-called 2 victories. Sometimes you get down. You know, you can fall down 7 times, 17 times or so, but you get back up. That's the key. Even in defeat is learning. You're never defeated. Right now say, I am undefeated. Say it again. I am undefeated. I've been challenged. I've been knocked down for the count. I've been disappointed. I ain't given up hope sometimes. But you say this, I am undefeated. And just like those big bad wolf and the 3 little pigs, you know the story. The big bad wolf, negativity, huff and puff, and blow your house down. Oh, he's happy. He got you down 2 times. But what did the pigs do? They ran to a stronger structure. They may not have known it in the beginning, but through time you start to build on positive structure. So, you know the story. The big bad wolf huffed and puffed. He huffed and puffed. He huffed and puffed so much that he said, okay, I'm going to run up to the chimney and I'm going to get him that way. So the big bad wolf, he was looking for an opening, and in his eyes, the opening was, let me go up to the top of the chimney and yell down to the building where the three little pigs are, and I'll get them this way. I'll get them scared. I get them to run out of this brick house, and I got them. So what did the big bad wolf? He looked for an opening. Opening? Yes, the chimney opening. And that's the same thing in life. When we are confronted with negative things, negative thoughts, negative people, they look for an opening. Sometimes it'll be something that you did in the past. It may be something that you said to someone and they kept it in their little archives to bring out on you. Or maybe in a situation you just got so frustrated you didn't know what to do. And that was an opening for negativity. Getting back to the story, as I said it before, the big bad wolf, he went up to the chimney. He started to talk, woofing and puffing, and he woofed and puffed so much that he got exhausted, and guess what? He fell down the chimney into a pot that the pigs had prepared for him. They had confidence that they were in a strong structure. And I say this to you today. How do you develop a strong structure to being undefeated? First and foremost, as I said before, attitude. A, always making today my best day. We don't have no other day. Today is today. We can't go back until tomorrow, right? And I mean yesterday. We can't go back until yesterday. And we're here today. And we can't go into the future. Back to the Future. Remember that movie? We can't do that yet. So we have today. So A, an attitude is always making today my best day. Repeat after me. Today is my best day. How do I know today is my best day? Number one, say commitment. I have the commitment that I'm going to do the best that I can do on this day. Also, I'm going to have the passion. Passion. Sometimes we think of passion, man, in a sexual context. But passion is the endurance that helps you overthrow struggle. Let me say that again. Passion is the endurance to help you overthrow struggle. So when you have the passion, you have the thought. Remember I talked about thought? You have the thought, the heart. Now you have the passion that I'm going to do the necessary things to be the best dad that I can be with my child that has a special needs. Yeah, the women always get the credit. Let's be for real. The women always get the credit. They are nurturers. That's in their DNA. They are nurturers. My wife, for over 30 years, she always say, do you want something? She's my helpmate. What I do, we work side by side. I got a seminar I'll be talking about marriage for you too, but I just want to let you know that even in that situation, have the passion to say, look, we're going to work as a team. Do the things that you normal. Work out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you'd be amazed when you start to work out of your comfort zone. We're working on our comfort zone right now for this conference. We are making history, as I said in the beginning, because this is a virtual workshop. Yeah, a virtual workshop. I can't see you, and you can see me, but I can't see you, and I'm presenting to you, and maybe there's some things I can say, like I say, you can run it back, and then you can pause it, then you can pick it up again. It's up to you. So, we're making history together. Also, know your truth. Know your truth. As a dad with a child with a special needs, my truth was that I have to be more patient. Yeah, that was my truth. I have to be more patient. The other children that we have saw dad have a temper, saw dad raise his voice, because I was working from the construct of how my parents raised me. And when you have a child with special needs, you can't deal with that construct because it's totally different. Because when that child may say or do things, or I tell you, our home was called the precinct because we had officers coming over the house, police officers coming over the house. So I developed a relationship with the police officers in the community that came over our house. There were times when he had that, the roller coaster emotion and that type of thing would happen. So I had to learn a new construct of being patient. And that was part of being truthful with yourself. And once you get to the point, and I'll say this, one of the weapons of negativity is shame. Sometimes in your mind you say, well, I can't be the dad that I can't be because I got a child with a special needs and my friends won't understand. So what? You are giving the gift. And we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. I'm searching every day. And it goes back to the truth that we need to connect with one another. And sometimes that's the hardest thing as men to do. It's to connect. I've seen it before. When women have meetings, oh man, they can talk. If it's a 30-minute meeting, they can talk for 45 and an hour just chit-chatting. Don't tell them I said that. But for when men get together, it's what I call a quiet desperation pause. The easy way out is to talk about sports or the weather or something that we saw on TV. But to have the time to have a honest conversation about parenting as a man, it's difficult. It's difficult. Give you a case in point. When little girls are growing up, let's be honest, they get doll houses and they get the dolls, so they're already preparing how to arrange things. They're already preparing that when they get married, that they'll have a husband and say, oh, I think the couch should go over here. No, I think it should go over here. They already have practice. But for us as men, we haven't been given a book on how to do parenting, which in turn, we're winging it. Most of the time, we're winging it. But the truth of the matter, as I said it before, what are some of the tips? Commitment, passion, truth, mental toughness. We talk about that 7 inches between the mind and the heart. Just like my shirt says, winning starts here. Winning starts here. Conda. That's where it starts. Positive results. Celebrate. Sometimes I think that the difficulty is that you don't have to use as a defense mechanism that I don't know. I don't have all the answers. So in turn, I'm going to isolate myself. In turn, I'm going to feel like I got to stay in my comfort zone. And I think the key thing is that making that heart-to-heart connection with your child. Even today, there are certain things that when I'm communicating with our child, he's now kind of age, getting close to 30, but some of the things may not equate to what a person that's getting close to 30 may do. So you have to make those adjustments. And we do certain things ourselves that may not be equivalent to our age. So who are we to judge in raising our children? Also, faith. It said faith without works is dead. Keep the hope and keep faith. Believe that I'm going to do my best. Chip in. Do whatever you can. Work as a team. My hat's off to you. If you're a single dad, juggling work and raising a child and having a child with a special needs and going back, educating yourself, coming up with witty inventions, doing things, creative things to keep your family afloat, I salute you. And for those men that are married, like myself, work hand in hand with your significant partner, your wife, your significant other, whatever situation you may be with that child, work together as a team. That's the championship tips. Yeah, they're going to be superstars. You know, they're going to be, you can pick any sport. And I guarantee you there's a particular sport you have to have somebody to play the game with you. Someone say, well, tennis. One individual gets the trophy, but there are other people. You can't win a tennis match unless somebody is knocking the ball back to you. Think about it. Same thing with golf. Believe it or not, a lot of golfers, they need that caddy. The caddy tells you, well, there's going to be a little rough on your left and right. I think you should use the 8-iron in this situation. As you putt, the greens are fast, so watch your putting. In my case, why are you on the golf course, Bob? You're good entertainment. Another thing, develop good habits. Good habits supersedes errors. Let me say that again. Good habits supersedes errors. There are going to be times that you do certain habits and these habits have consequences that you don't like. You know, some people say it takes 2 weeks to establish a habit and it takes 30 to 45 days to break a habit. But oftentimes, to develop a good habit, you got to know that that's a bad habit and pick up new techniques that you will be successful and new and improve good habits. Okay? And remember this. You are excellence in action. Repeat after me again. You are excellence. I am excellence in action. I may not dot every I, cross every T. I'm going to make mistakes. Winning starts here. Remember I said that? But you got to be able to put in your mind, I am excellence in action. Recap real quick. Commitment, passion, truth, mental toughness, positive results, discipline, will, faith, good habits, and your excellence. You are excellence in action. It takes action. It's not something that you can just take from day to day. I know that sometimes you on a work schedule and in these difficult times that we have, getting medication or thinking that what happens if my child gets sick? How can I handle that situation? How can I communicate with my doctor, get the appropriate medicine? Been there, done it, got the t-shirt. Those are some of the challenges as dads in this situation, in this unique hour of humanity that we have to deal with. And I want to encourage you that always making today your best day. Also, T, and attitudes. Talking about attitudes. A, always making today my best day, your best day. T, taking pride in a job well done. You know, the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. You heard that before, right? Celebrate the significant little things. If you're able to bring a smile to your child or learn something new or develop a better relationship, that's a victory. And what I mean by pride is to know that you're still climbing. You're still on that highway. Remember, we're fueling up now. We're getting on that interstate and we have a destination of hope. And we're continuing down that highway with loving tenacity. And in that, When you have those significant, what I call significant victories or significant goals, whatever you may have, write it down, document it. Because when those days of challenges come into your life, you'll be able to go back into that piece of paper or wherever you wrote that victory at a certain time and at a certain place. Document it, because those documentations are going to be the ones to help you catapult over whatever challenges you may have. It may be the next day. Who knows? But go ahead and document your victories. Another thing, treating others with respect. That's very important. That's part of our attitudes. Treat me the same way I would like for you to be treated. And sometimes people don't understand that when you have a child with special needs, they're really on the outside looking in. And that's an old saying, walk one day in my shoes. I tell you, dads, challenge other men. They may not understand what you're going through. Say, look, I'm going to give you one day to walk in my shoes. And at the end of the one day, I hope that you have learned something about how my day may be, what challenges I may face, what choices I may have to make. And in walking in another individual's shoes, you have empathy, you have compassion, and you also have understanding and knowledge, and you develop a new wisdom to be able to navigate through the negativity that one may think in their minds towards you. As I said before, isolating my negative thoughts. The word attitude is A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E-S. A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E-S. Attitudes. Isolating my negative thoughts. We already spoke about that. The game is in your thought processes, what you think in your mind. Isolate those. T, treating tasks as opportunities. We have the greatest opportunity as parents, and particularly as a parent of a child with special needs. We know what struggle is. We know what compassion. We know what patience is. We know what temperance is. And all of that is inclusive of the honor, and I say honor with great dignity, to raise a child with special needs. Because you don't know. You know, a lot of people don't understand. They say disability and they have their own definition. But my definition is disability is the ability of another person not knowing the excellence that other person may have. And you can Google many people that have been diagnosed with a disability and has made a tremendous impact in a positive way to humanity. T, treating your task as opportunities, as I said. U, utilizing my talents every day. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent. I want to encourage you, after you hear this presentation, if you can get 3 points, I want you to write down those 3 points. And I want you to start a multiplication of excellence. What do you mean by multiplication of excellence? Listen, if I said to you, I want you to write 1,008 goals for 2020. You look at me like I'm crazy. You want me to write down 1,008 goals for 2020. Listen, remember I say the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time? Let's do the math. 3 times 7 is what? 21, right? And there's 7 days in a week, right? So, doing 3 tips, and this is 3 things, write down 3 goals per day. 3 times 7 is 21. At the end of the week, if you do that, writing down 3 new goals. Now, waking up is not a goal. I know we need a lot of sleep. Because I always say, when you have children, that's God's way of telling you you had enough sleep. 3 times 7 is 21. Every day, write down 3 goals. I have literally a book that I write down my goals. And I learn. What have I learned today? Where I've come short today. That's part of goals. You know, you're not perfect. Not every quarterback throws a touchdown every time. They throw interceptions. And sometimes their team don't make it to the Super Bowl. I know. I'm a Cowboys fan. 3 times 7 is 21. At the end of the week, 21 goals have been achieved. Just think where you may be, how you may position yourself, where your family position may be, how you start to change as a person, how your confidence starts to build. And then you say, I want to try this for a whole month. Super. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 times 4 is what? 84. Right? 84. So you have potentially 21 times 4, 4, 8, 84. You have the potential at the end of the month to have 84 goals achieved. And it only started with 3. 1, 2, 3. Very simple application. I didn't say write down the 84 goals and get back with me in a month. You'll go like it's overwhelming. We all get in overwhelming situations. You know, not getting into sleep, got to give medication or change your child and make sure that they're all right, meeting the needs of that child. It's challenging. And at the same time, you're like a juggler in a circus. How am I keeping these balls going? How am I keeping juggling everything that I'm going through as a man, everything that I'm going through as a dad, everything that I'm going through as a husband? How do I continue to juggle all of those balls? And sometimes I drop it. It's all right if you drop your balls. Did that come out right? This is a virtual workshop, right? I hope that made you laugh. It's like juggling. And sometimes we got to juggle things in life. And sometimes we don't understand how we can keep everything afloat. And D, doing the job right the first time. Yeah, doing the job right the first time. And oftentimes I am a work in progress, because sometimes I have a whole litany of things and I try to do that. And I find out, a lot of people, this keyword about, oh, you're a multitasker. You can multitask. But sometimes they did a scientific study and it showed that multitasking is more distracting than staying focused on one particular task. They did a study on that. Because at one point it was like real cool. Hey, I want you to do A, I want you to do B, and I want you to do C, and get back with me in 30 minutes. And you find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and wondering why you couldn't get that one thing accomplished. So I say to you today, do the job right the first time and to the best of your ability. You know what your job is. You know what you have to do. Do it. And do it to the best of your ability. E, expecting positive outcomes daily. Expecting. That's a big word. Expectations. When a woman becomes pregnant, we have the expectation that there will be a child born at the end of that duration, right? Yeah, that's expectations. Well, my wife's, I was on the phone one time and back, and I was in a meeting, and my wife said, "You doing okay?" She went in and was going to the appointment for the ultrasound, and I couldn't make it, but I said, "Well, give me a call with the results." So she was there, and she was on the phone, and she said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Yes, I'm sitting down." And she said, "I have the nurse in the room here and the doctor in the room here, and we are looking at the ultrasound. And I'm on the other phone gripping like, okay, 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 tell me more, tell me more. She said, guess what? We're going to have twins. And I paused and said, I was so excited. I said, twin what? Twin what? She's looking at twin babies, she said. So, great expectations. You never know. And a long story short, I tell you, when I talk to you today, raising our oldest child with special needs, we had our twin sons at 40. Yeah, you can still do it at 40. We had our twins at 40. So you can imagine when most of our friends are coming through that phase of child rearing, they're finishing up. The kids getting ready to go into high school. They can really take care of themselves, and some of them are already going to college. At 40, we were just starting again with twins. And sometimes I want to tell you this, it's not the age, it's the praise. We may chronologically be at a certain age, but what phase are you going through in your life right now? Time is valuable, yes. And sometimes we measure things by time, which is a wisdom in that. But at the same time, you have to say, what phase am I in? Am I in at this juncture of my life? Yeah, that's very important to know. Not the time sometimes, but what juncture or what phase, PHASE, I am in this juncture in my life. And it ties in with our attitude. S, speaking well of others every day. Let me pause for a cause. Speaking well of others every day. That can be challenging. I know you're listening to me say, I caught everything you were saying, but now you're saying, and this is championship tips. Remember, I hold up the Super Bowl trophy, all right, as dads. To get this trophy, part of that is speaking well of others every day. Let me give you a secret. What you say about me is none of my business. Let me say that one more time. What you say about me is none of my business. And when you have that attitude of gratitude that increase your aptitude and accomplishments and goals that you are seeking, it's like my grandmother say, sometimes you got to eat the fish and throw away the bones. You say, what you say about me is none of my business. I hear you. Like that Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I hear you. But the reception gets a little foggy when you have a history of saying to me negative things. I have empathy for you. I have compassion for you. But my whole attitude is a whole new level of excellence. So I can graciously say, what you say about me is none of my business. Because I am a work in progress. So in that, I can speak well of others every day. It's amazing, part of the championship, you got to take care of yourself. Let me say this real quick, man. We're about to wrap it up. Take care of yourself. Take time to monitor what you eat. Drink water, drink whatever keeps you going. I drink a lot of water in health or so. It's written in ancient scripture. It says Beloved, I desire that you prosper in health, even as your soul prospers. You're balancing. Remember, I told you to get this championship trophy, there are different strategic things you have to do. And one of the very important part of that strategic strategy is your health. What good if you have money in the bank? What good you accomplish a nice zip code where you live? What good is it that you're doing all for your family and you're not in good health? And part of winning in this race of life, in this drive on life highway, we got to take care of ourselves as men. So I say that to you. A big part of our attitude, as I said before, A, always making today our best day. T, taking pride in a job well done. T, treating others with respect. I, isolating my negative thoughts. T, treating tasks as opportunities. U, utilizing my talents every day. D, doing the job right the first time. E, expecting positive outcomes daily. And S, speaking well of others every day. That's part of your attitude. Part of your attitude. And once you got that attitude of gratitude, nothing can stop you, Dad. Nothing can stop you, great man, because you are gifted, you are innovator, and you have given the precious gift, not only the precious gift of life in a child, but the wonderful opportunity to raise a child that has a special need. So, men, in closing, I just wanted to say to you that you affirm to yourself with these words: I am created for excellence. I am created for excellence. And eyes have not seen, and ears have not heard of the success and legacy that you are building for your family right now as a man. Man, I wish I was there. I'd just high five everybody there. High five. I'm high fiving right now. Let me say, don't you give up. Hold your head up high, because there's a better day, and that better day starts today. Championship, fellowship, communicating with one man to another. Build a city, build a building of hope. I'm talking to you today that after this presentation, that you email me, and then we'll start connecting with one another, and maybe you know another man that's in that same boat. All of us are fishermen. Yeah, you know the story of the fishermen. All of us in the fishermen, we're fishermen. And to be a good fisherman, you got to know the atmosphere. You got to be able to know the timing. And you got to know what bait and what fish you are fishing for. You are fishing for your legacy of your family, the character, the brevity to be able to overcome struggles, to pass the baton to that next generation in your life, to show the loving care to your child that has a special needs. We are fishermen. Men, let's go fishing. Let's get on this boat. We already on this boat together. This boat of hope. This boat of tenacity. And written on that boat is ink that has not run dry. And in that ink, that etching on that boat says, I am a champion. I'm talking about championship in your life, hope in your life, teamwork. Together, everyone accomplish much. Let's build today. I'm thankful for the Family Cafe. It has, I would say, catapulted my life as a parent 10 years plus ago. Frustrated, didn't know what to do, but I went out and I sought information. And in the setting of the Family Cafe, it started with a vision of a woman around the table that loved her daughter so much. It challenges us as men to love our children so much that she had a round table meeting and she started to share a vision that I'm going through the challenges with my daughter, but I want to build a village of hope. I want to carve through that tunnel of negativity, and I want to build a tunnel of hope and tenacity and share it with other families. She was in a round table situation, and she got her friends together, those that had compassion, those who could tap into her vision to help other families that were going through what she was going through with her daughter. And in that vision, she didn't know that it would be catapulted into making connections throughout this whole state of Florida for over 20 years. It started at the table, gentlemen. I hope this workshop is your table conversation with me. I shared the vision that you will send this link to other men that just got on our boat. They may not be good fishermen at this point, but they're in the same boat with us. And since all of us are together on this boat, we can teach one another. We can teach one another how to hold the line, how to grip it when there's tugging on your line, and to be able to garner the prize together. So, gentlemen and gentle man, thank you. I salute you of a man of hope as you watch this. I salute you as a loving father of your child, and I salute you as a champion on a winning team. And that winning team starts with you connecting with other men, and we move forward. Thank you. Thank you. You're a winner. You deserve the credit for your success with your family. And whether or not the accomplishment was easy or difficult, you deserve the credit for being a champion. Thank you for your time. I hope that after this strange new frontier that we are walking through, that we'll be able to greet one another and to hug one another and shake one another's hands as men, and to be able to share our stories of struggle and share our stories of overcoming obstacles, and knowing that all of us, no matter what position we may be, we're on a championship team when it comes to our children. This is Coach Bobby Streeter. You can call me Bob, Robert, Bobby. And if you're from Richmond and grew up with me in Richmond, they call me Boo Boo. But you can call me anything that you want to call me, but don't call me late for dinner. It's been a joy, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to service you at the Family Cafe. Continue to connect. Continue to give input as we build this tunnel, this village of encouragement and loving tenacity to serve humanity. God bless you and keep on running and stay focused. Follow on course until successful. Have a great day. See you soon.